I'm Riley Harvey for VCN, and you join us now as we enter the last of today's streams for the VCN Champs. It's been a fantastic day of racing, absolutely frenetic, fabulous, fast, full-on racing. Can't think of any more Fs. We are just about to get underway with this last lap, 15.3 kilometers of the Leuven circuit, which is one of the real roads on RGT. And we missed two streams today. The French stream, which is up on the VCN channel, has been provided by a community streamer, and I didn't understand very much of the stream that came through. It was all in French, but I can tell you that without understanding a word of it, you could feel the energy, the vibrancy and the excitement coming through from the stream. Absolutely electric. We're on the start line here. We are waiting for this to go. The riders are going to go off from this start line with an absolute turbo as we get underway now. We've got O'Farrell, Zuckner, Hernandez, Marino and Miller in this front section. Miller, Team 3R, who was commenting on the chat earlier on. They were watching their teammate Anders Ostensen going off earlier on. And Soto takes the lead here and opens up a small gap of 10 meters. It's very early on into this race, so we are not expecting Soto's break to stick here. But Soto going off the front with Miller and Zuckner coming in behind. Miller rolls through over the top. Hernandez is in 5th position. We've got a gap opened up to Vargas, O'Farrell and Chris and Espinosa. So we'll just drop back on the riders there. Marino is just struggling slightly to get back into the wheels there. Marino gets back into the wheels. We're going to drop back briefly to see the next group on the road. As Miller there sits into the pack, saving around about 160 watts there. And then we see there's a group here of O'Farrell and Vargas neck and neck, riding under the same flag. Whether or not they know each other, I'm not sure. And then we drop back. We've got Chris and Espinosa there. Chris riding under the UK flag, but I'm not 100% sure. Some of the riders I think are riding in their country category, but they're using the flag of the place where they live currently. So Chris there, Chris in 9th position, just been passed by Espinosa. And Espinosa just pushing to try and catch up with a group of Vargas and O'Farrell just shortly in front of him. Chris power drop momentarily there. I wonder if he's having some technical. He's back underway again now and pushing out good power as he gets back to the wheel of Espinosa. Farrell and Vargas, toe to toe, shoulder to shoulder, battling on. Go forward to the lead group. Soto just struggling to stay at the back of this pack now. Soto gets back in. And Hernandez, Miller, Soto's rolling over the top of this group now. We saw in the UK race, Richard Akers was putting in numerous rapid attacks, just keeping the race really dynamic. Wasn't allowing it to settle very much at all. So for those of you watching this, we are on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook and a number of other platforms. We're using Restream Chat to bring all of the chat into one screen so I can respond to you no matter what platform you're speaking to us from. So if you want to send us a message, if you want coverage of your friend, your teammate, if you want to ask anything about the screen information that's going on, shoot us a message and I'd be happy to respond to you. We're on the real road circuit of Leuven. That's done by RGT. This is one of the real roads that rotates through the free options on RGT. RGT is one of the platforms that gives biggest free options available on any of the cycling platforms. The Zuckner there is just pushing slightly, just stretching out the elastic and opening a small gap, 7 meters. Soto, Hernandez just behind. Zuckner's just riding them off the wheel now. Steady pace, but opening a small gap. Soto there, responding. Hernandez being caught out. And the group's back together. Hernandez there having to burn a match to get back onto the back of that group. We're still not even into the first climb here. First climb we're coming up to is the Kaisersberg. Max is out at 9%. 290 meters, average is 6.6%. And not too much elevation on the course today. It's intended as the Nationals to just be a challenging but dynamic course where everyone had an opportunity to attack. But the climbs are very punchy, so they do liven things up. You have to be aware going into them. Some of the stronger riders are able to just sort of muscle over the top of them and not really slow as much as you'd expect. And Soto pushing at the front. Marino with Hernandez. Hernandez just not being able to respond to this at this moment in time. Come round past the Marina. Marino just trying to get back onto this group in front of Hernandez. The gap opening up more and more as time goes by. We're almost at the base of Kaisersberg, and it's looking like Hernandez is dropping out of this group. He's not going to be able to make it back. Go back to Marino. And the early section of this climb is going to dictate whether Marino will be able to get back onto this group of 3. Miller, Soto, Zuckner, their power's going red. Marino not responding in the same way. We're in the early sections of the climb. Relatively easy gradients. See on the left hand side of the screen there, we've got the watts per kilogram next to the rider's power. Marino topping out around about 4.6 watts per kilogram. The riders in front of him are up at 7 watts per kilogram. They're opening the gap. They're opening the gap up massively now, going up 59, 60 meters. It doesn't seem like much at this moment in time, 60 meters, but as soon as this road plateaus back out again, that gap will just expand exponentially. I think that's Marino is just in distance there now. Marino settling down into a bit of a tempo. And we jump up to the right in front of Soto. Has continued applying the power as they've come over the crest of that climb. And Soto's opened up a lead on Zuckner and Miller. Miller in third position. You see the power bar underneath his name there. It's flashing all colours of the rainbow. That indicates how much above the rider's FTP, or even below the rider's FTP, they are pushing the power. It's based on Coggins training zones, and Miller there in green and yellow currently, which not going too far above his FTP. Gaps opened up 42 meters to Zuckner, and then further gapping up to Soto in front. Soto is just continuing to apply power. 5.7 watts per kilogram now, 5.9. And this is a phenomenal amount of power here for Soto. 173 heartbeat. .5 watts per kilogram. Zuckner behind 5.3, 5.8. We come down by the Leuven Canal. slight descent here into a flattened section of road, and then we come to the Decuzland climb. And it's looking like Miller and Zuckner have paired up behind. Whether they can use their combined power and drafting, work together to get back to Soto, keep this race alive. Soto's got a gap of 100 meters on those two chasing at the moment. We still have the Decuzland climb to come. Zuckner doing the work on the front of this group at the moment. Miller just behind, enjoying a little bit of drafting advantage. He's saving around about 80 watts there off the wheel of Zuckner. And this is the beginning of the Decuzland climb. Quite a drawn out climb, this one, in comparison to the rest of the climbs on this course. The 975 meter segment, 6% maximum gradient, 2.5% average. The early sections are quite easy. We're only up at plus 2.4% now. And the final sections are quite easy as well. Similar, sort of 2.5, but there is a more challenging middle section. As you can see there in the distance, Soto still visible as Zuckner pushes now. Zuckner pushes and Miller responds. Miller staying on that wheel, knowing how valuable the drafting advantage is. It does diminish quite considerably when we're on climbs and the speeds are lower, but there is a big period of flat after this climb. Zuckner just riding Miller off his wheel currently. Zuckner up at 5.5 watts per kilogram. Miller responding, but just not being able to hold to him. We come under the precision coaching halfway banner. Just taking out the biggest section of gradient now. Road flattening slightly. We're down at plus 1.9% now. And Zuckner continues to ride away from Miller at this moment. Hernandez is in the distance. Marino, the next nearest rider to Miller, 275 meters. Miller's power there just dropping down into the blue zone. And the green has, I think he's just easing slightly, conserving his energy to ensure he's got this third position. Soto continues to push out 5.5 watts per kilogram. Up at 6 now. VCN supporting the Ride Fair initiative and request verification from any of the riders in any of the races, which is normal process for virtual cycling now. And eBio Passport registration is strongly encouraged for anybody who's looking to race competitively on any cycling platform. As Soto comes into the descent, still continues to push out very high watts per kilogram, even whilst descending now, not allowing any ease up. An incredibly flat power distribution there as well. Very, very smooth cycling style. Drop back to Zuckner. Zuckner now not too far away from Soto, 110 meters. I think that's artificially close looking as the gradient has slowed Soto somewhat. Gap 92 meters. Soto turns the corner and out of sight of Sugna there. And that's Whimpers completed for those two riders. Miller just round the corner there. Only pushing out 4.7 watts per kilogram on this climb. No competitors in sight. Just lost Zugner out of sight now. I think Zugner's out of vision. Not just because of the course, but the distance as well. And we'll just briefly drift back to the other riders on the road. Got Marino there. And in an efforts on this Whimpers climb. Hernandez. And in 5th position now. And then we've O'Farrell and Vargas, who have been together since the race began. And behind them we've got Chris. And just a little bit further back we've got Espinosa. Head back up to the front of the race with Soto. And Soto, only 4.6 kilometers left for Soto now. As I say, we are live on social media. Any of your chats will come through to me. We're on the ring road section now, around Leuven. Those that weren't aware, this course was used in 2021 in the Worlds, part of a bigger course. Different loops mixed in with it. I think this section of the course was used 7 times in the 2021 Worlds. It was a punishing course that year. I think it was around about 190 kilometers long in total. uh, 3.7 kilometers left for Soto here. Some camera time to the following riders. Zugner is putting in tremendous effort now. It's a individual time trial for Zugner, Milo and Marino. Zugner, Miller, Marino, they're not quite close enough to make contact with each other, but they're far enough away from each other to be confident their positions are going to stay as they are. Zugner in 2nd position now with 3.2 kilometers remaining. Miller, Team 3R, sporting his teammate Anders Ostergaard in the earlier Danish race. Rounds that corner. Speed up nearly 50 kilometers per hour. Head back up to the front of the race as we're coming close to the final climb on the circuit. And Soto continues pushing on. Heart rate of 151. And it enters the final climbing segment, San Antoniusberg. 6%, 230 meters. There's the church. There's the cobbles. Start to see the heart rate rise. 163. This is pointing out 7.3 watts per kilogram on this section of the course. Only 1.7 kilometers remain. Soto continues the same power, up 7 watts per kilogram. See in the distance there, the Flamme Rouge, the specialized 1 kilometer marker, comes into view. Zuckner also crested San Antoniusberg. Miller just coming up to the end of it. And Soto only 760 meters to go. You're going to see a sprint from them for the finish line. .5 watts per kilogram. 7.2 now as they're entering the last sections and giving their all to get to the finish line first. .6, 10.9. Finish line is in sight. 160 meters left to go. 320 meters in front of 12.5 we saw momentarily there. And they crossed the finish line first. Zuckner, second position. 250 meters left to go. Finish line in sight. They lift their power to 7.5 watts per kilogram. They finish on a sprint, throw the bike for the line, and they're over in second position. Miller rode well. Early section of the race they were able to keep with the lead group. Still 650 meters clear of Marino, their closest challenger. 100 meters left to go. They come over the line in 23 minutes and 24. Marino. was going fourth now in 400 meters. Hernandez, closest challenger, 1.3 kilometers behind, 1.5 kilometers behind. These are some fantastic times. For anybody who hasn't rode Leuven, it is a very challenging circuit. Marino comes over in 24 minutes and 33. Hernandez just coming out of the finish of Whimpers. So Farrell and Vargas still riding together behind, 550 meters behind Hernandez. As I say, it's a challenging circuit. It's doesn't have a tremendous amount of elevation in the circuit, but what elevation is there, it comes in very punchy sections. Certainly breaks your rhythm and affects you more than you probably would expect it to for the height cover. Hernandez now, 1.3 kilometers left to go. Another rider comes under this specialized precision handicap race. 1 kilometer banner marker. Not too long for them to get the finish line now. Confident of their position, just tempoing it to the finish line. Riding the Canyon Air road bike. Meters still to go. And Hernandez sprints for the finish line. 7.6 watts per kilogram. $80 meters. Finishing in 27 minutes and 40 seconds. Dropping back now to Vargas. Vargas rode together for most of this race with O'Farrell, and they've dropped O'Farrell. I think it was looking like they dropped them on the Whimpers climb, and they've continued press. Farrell is 180 meters in the distance. Vargas just keeps on applying a little bit more power than O'Farrell. O'Farrell has lifted it slightly. They say that's 212 meter gap. Vargas now 300 meters left to go of this race. Seeing on the live rankings there, Vargas and Hernandez Times 2:40, 2:54, and then Chris and Espinosa slightly slower at 3:21 and 3:49. Vargas now comes over the line, sprinting all the way, finishes in style. Time at just under 30 minutes, 29 minutes and 5 seconds. O'Farrell, who'd rode much of the earlier part of this race with Vargas, like they were dropped on whimpers, and they're coming through now, lifting their sprint themselves there, hitting 7 watts per kilogram. No cadence or heart rate showing there for O'Farrell. The cadence has come back online, perhaps a momentary power outage there for them. As O'Farrell comes over the line, and the sprint was a little bit too late there. Chris nearly cut back up to O'Farrell. Finishing the end around about 120 metres adrift. There, coming over the finish line with a sprint. Over 30 minutes. Fantastic times for Leuven. And Espinosa coming up to the top of St. Antoniusberg. Sorry, I'm just caught myself now. I said that Vargas and O'Farrell had rode together until whimpers, but it wasn't. It was St. Antoniusberg that I believe that the break happened between the two of them. Past the precision coaching road fences there. Underneath the hashtag Go Beyond segment signs. Espinosa MG, which I'm presuming is their team. 1.4 kilometers remaining. This has been a fantastic day of racing. Really enjoyable to bring you this level of coverage, this number of events in a single day. And it's been really enjoyable to be part of it, but it's been enjoyable to watch it as well as we come underneath the 1 kilometer marker. RGT offers, in my opinion, a much more dynamic watching experience than a lot of the other platforms, which have this kind of fuzzy logic drafting system where you can see a rider go on a break, but you don't really know whether they're being viewed as being on a break. All the riders within RGT's events see the riders exactly where they are on the road. So if you see a rider going on a break, you know that you need to respond to that. Whereas with some of the other platforms, you're not quite seeing it live. So you can have a delay in when those riders attack and respond to the attack. Espinosa pushes for the last 600 meters. They're kicking out 3.9 watts per kilogram at the moment. Riding the hashtag Go Beyond RGT bicycle. Another point to mention, in the RGT world, you can choose different bicycles, but they don't affect the speed that you cycle at. It is basically just purely based upon the legs. So no, it's not that whole thing on some other platforms where you have, you choose a bike and that's better at going up hills, or you choose another bike and that's better at going downhill, and etc, etc. It is just based upon solely the rider's legs, which some people may agree with and some people don't, but it's something that I prefer, is that you know, you're just being judged like for like. As Espinosa comes over the line in a time of 33 minutes and 33 seconds. I don't know whether they intended to do that, but I'm not sure you could hit that again if you tried. And we come to the end of this stream. I'm going to play you out with a couple of short trailers for our other events, and hope to see you next week with some more events.